Chris Gethard, thanks for tuning in. It's Chris Gethard Presents. So excited tonight, so excited. I was sitting around thinking about why I invited this comedian who's going to be hosting the show tonight to be here, why I like him, and it made me realize one of the things, there's been all these think pieces the past few years about comedy. There's been all this debate about comedy. It's very weird to me that this happens, and a lot of it revolves around, like, there's the comedians who say the world's too PC, there's too many snowflakes and social justice warriors, you can't perform at colleges anymore, you've heard it all, right? There's other people, other end of the spectrum, comedy has to be a safe space, right? People should never have to get offended, that we can work together at a higher level, it allows an audience to feel comfortable, even if you have to sacrifice your punchlines, and everybody talking, there's all these things, right? Now, the guy hosting tonight's episode, I will say, he's inspired me because as much as any comedian I know, he is proof that we can do both, ladies and gentlemen. This guy, he's a very good guy, good heart, good intentions. You will not meet anybody who ever questions that. He'll also grab the darkest punchline you can think of by the throat and just mercilessly throw it at you. He walks that line in a way I've always been impressed by. Frankly, I am jealous of his ability to do it. It gives me hope that maybe we can have our cake and eat it too. Maybe, just maybe, you don't have to pick between having hard punchlines and being a good person. Maybe we can stop that debate. Maybe we can just pull it off. And the only thing you have to do is you have to be as smart and as quick and as funny as Martin Urbano. So good luck with that. It's not easy to do, but he's going to teach you how tonight. People of the world, my name is Chris Gethard, but this is not the Chris Gethard Show. This is the Martin Urbano Show.
I'm Martin Urbano. You may know me from Jimmy Kimmel Live, Comedy Central, being a registered sex offender, or the CW. I've been doing stand-up comedy for over 39 years now, and on my journey, I've discovered how to teach anyone to become a professional amateur comedian like me. Do I get paid for doing comedy? Sometimes. But do I have the respect of my peers? Not really. But am I living my comedy dream? No. But do I technically have TV credits? Yes, I called myself a pedophile on Disney-owned ABC. This comedy class will help anyone become funny, whether you're trying to become a semi-working comedian, or if you're trying to get a little more confidence pitching your ideas at work, or even if you're just a serial sexual harasser looking to get funny beyond reprieve. Over my career, I've gotten to work with countless great comedians. Chris Gethard, Bill Cosby, Woody Allen, Bill Cosby again, and Chris Gethard, just to name a few. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. On top of my comedy experience, whether it's auditioning for SNL and not getting it, or auditioning for HBO's Crashing and not getting it, I also have years of actual teaching experience, a job I was fired from because of the PC police. Let's just say, apparently you're not allowed to give a girl a compliment anymore, even if you're her substitute teacher. Still sore about that. I'm also a card-carrying member of the International Comedic Entertainers, or ICE. In fact, I'm a regular on the detention center circuit. Now, some of my great shows. Some of my past students include Michael Richards. This comedy course will teach you everything you need to know to get to my level, rank amateur. And I'll tell you, I wasn't always the funny guy from Comedy Central's Instagram story that one time. But from my years of studying comedy and jokes, I've learned all the secrets of the trade, and I can help turn anybody from a comedy 0 into a comedy 1. Welcome to Martin Urbano's Comedy Amateur Class. Aiding me tonight is my trusty TA, up-and-coming comedian, and my friend Joey Dardano.
What's up?
Please don't clap for him. Please don't clap for him. Please don't clap for him. He's got to earn that. Joey, show the audience a little something of what you're going to be here to do tonight.
Well, TA stands for Tap Amateur. So if anything's going on, I'll just come in here and get a little bit of life in there, baby. All right. Was that
Exactly.
good? Okay.
Now, I've also gathered a select group of 10 disciples, some up-and-coming young guns in the New York comedy scene. How about you wave to everybody, disciples? Let everybody know who you are. Applause for the disciples. Yeah, let them hear it. They are the future of comedy. I guarantee that each and every one of these students will become amateur comedians one day, if they follow all my lessons to the T. If not, fuck them. But of course, this is a televised class, so I'd like to say hello to all the students at home. We'll be taking calls from you throughout the show where you can ask for advice about comedy, but also I want to give you a little homework. So here are 2 joke setups that if you call in, you can answer with your own punchline for extra credit. Now the 2 setups are, I like my women like I like my chicken, blank. And of course, that can be, I like my men like I like my chicken, I like my non-binary lovers like I like my chicken, whatever you prefer. And option 2, I like my women like I like my olive oil, blank. So if you call in, remember, those 2 setups are just itching for punchlines. And at the end of the show, I'll tell you the correct answers. Okay. Let's get into the first lesson. We're going to talk about writing. People always ask me, Martin, where do you get the inspiration to write your unbelievable jokes? Well, everyone finds inspiration in different places. Like for me, I watch old Carlos Mencia tapes. And then steal his jokes word for word. But regardless of how you come up with ideas or what kind of topics you joke about, writing comedy is a very specific skill. There are some tips that can make you a better writer. Like, did you know that the K sound is funny? The K sound is funny. That's why the KKK did so well. I don't know what it is. There's something funny about that sound. The K sound, the K sound. I mean, also, another tip, the audience will laugh more if you tickle them with a feather. So there's all kinds of tips and tricks of the trade, but here's an important thing. All jokes follow the same format. I know, it's hard to believe, but they do. Now, my disciples, if you all did your homework, which was watching my Kimmel set at least 5 times, you all know about the joke structure. The joke structure for all jokes, right here. This is it. There's 57 working parts. Now I'm going to label a few, so I want you all to hop in and label a few yourself. So right here, of course, we have what a lot of people know as the set up. The set up. And of course, right here, broadly speaking, is the punch line. Now over here, we have the tag. It's known as a tag. It's at the end of the just tagging a joke. Now over here, we have the fulcrum. That's the fulcrum of the joke. That's very important. Clearly one of the top 4 right here. Right over here, we have the taint of the joke. That's the taint right there. So that's every comedian knows the taint of the joke. So now I kind of want some of my disciples to come up, label part of the joke that you'd like. Your favorite part. Anybody? Yeah. Okay. All right. First up, we have James. Okay, here you go, James. All right, what are you labeling? Oh, at the beginning. That's a pretty good spot. There's a lot to a joke there at the beginning. There's a lot of. Okay, what are you writing here? All right, can you say it into the mic? What you wrote there?
It's the extreme setup.
The extreme setup. Thank you, James. That's correct. That's correct. A bonus credit for anybody else. Anybody else got some? Yeah. Come up. Yeah. I shouldn't keep capping that. And then let's see what you write down. Okay, so the extreme setup, the setup goes to the fulcrum. Then you stop by the taint on your way to the punchline, and then you got your tag. And then there might be some more. I don't know, class. Is there more? Okay. What do we got?
Anxiety.
All right, the anxiety attack. The anxiety attack halfway through the punchline. Any good comedian knows you're gonna have an anxiety attack. It's just part of the process. Very good, Vinay. Yes. Applause for Vinay, everybody. Yes. Anybody else got? Mia, come up. What do we got? Time-wise? Okay. All right. What do we got here? What do we got? Right at the end of the joke, when, most people would think, oh, the joke's over at the end. Well, you got another thing coming. Look, not if Mia has anything to say about it. Okay, so you wrote down
impersonate blind people.
Half credit there. It's anybody with a disability. Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, we're going to wrap it up there. We're going to go ahead and move on. Keep things moving. Keep things shaking. Joey, you with us? What else you got? What else does TA stand for, Joey?
TA, the asshole.
You're killing it, my man.
I just want to make you proud.
So, I'm going to introduce a guest lecturer. We're going to talk about comedy writing. So, here we go. Writing comedy is a long, brutal, excruciating process, harder than working construction or being a nurse. But there are some fun parts to it. Like, personally, my favorite part of writing a joke is watching Carlos Mencia say it. But even then, there are still hard parts to that, all right? Like trying to jot it down in between fits of laughter. And plus, my hand craps up. So you never know how hard it is to write a joke until you do it. But a close second favorite part of writing a joke, for me, is getting to say it on television. So to talk a little bit more about that process, I've invited my very funny peer who has had a late night set with twice as many views as mine. Please help me welcome Samantha Roddy, everybody.
Really appreciate it. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being here, Sam.
Hands.
Yeah, you're a legitimate comedian, a legitimate amateur comedian, much as myself. And so that means we know everything about comedy. So I just want to ask you a few questions, especially about your late night set. I'm fascinated with how you get that late night set. Aren't we fascinated about that, students? So you recently appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
I did.
So my first question is, how much money did you make?
More than I'm making tonight.
Ouch, burned me up top.
Thank you, Chris and Martin, for having me. I really appreciate it. And just barely enough to buy a boat.
What kind of boat?
Well, I don't know anything about boats. I really didn't think there were going to be any
generally?
follow-up questions.
Oh, it's all follow-up
So
questions.
it's
There's a whole
huge.
deck of follow-up questions to this boat. I knew
a
when I
yacht.
saw you have that boat, I was like, I bet it was that late night money, and I got to ask her 50 questions
I get a
about
lot
it.
of looks. When I drive it to open mics, it draws attention, But I always wanted one, and I got a spot, and I was like, you know what? I don't care about rent. I live in my boat now. So
Big time in us. Sam,
I love the boat.
how did you get on Colbert? Who books it? And what's their email? Just for everybody wondering at home.
Well, I was looking at boat classifieds, and I did a show, and Jessica Pilot, who is the booker, was there, and then she gave me her email, which is info@caspermattress.com.
It's from her side job. She books Colbert and also handles tech support for Casper Mattresses.
She's a very sleepy gal.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's literally a mattress joke. I hate you, Martin.
Hey!
I'm sorry, Joe.
Thanks, bud.
It means
Do you
a
want
lot
to
to me.
fight?
Whoa, hey! We're here to talk about us being on TV. So Sam, you know, I love your set. You killed it. It was awesome. Twice as many views as my Kimmel set. But I had some questions about it. Did you have any trouble getting through legal? Were there any jokes you wanted to say that they wouldn't let you?
Well, you know, they actually told me that my set wasn't offensive enough. Yeah, they really wanted me to have a JFK assassination joke. And I told them, like, I don't think it's gonna play on CBS. You know, like, you guys are like the Big Bang Theory and stuff. Like, do you think all these people are really gonna be into, like, this joke about, like, JFK getting killed? And
Plus,
then,
the CBS audience doesn't even believe that stuff.
I
They think it was a
know.
big conspiracy.
I know, it's a lot of
They
flat
know.
earthers.
Yeah.
But they, you know, they play with your set, and so I wound up doing the assassination joke, but it did get cut. So they said it was ultimately too offensive. Suits.
I had an Alzheimer's joke cut from my Kimmel set.
Oh yeah.
They were right. I don't do that joke anymore. But I did call myself a pedophile and give the middle finger to an audience member, so thank you.
They wouldn't let you do the hat trick.
Also, hot tip, if you just ask for applause, they'll give it to you.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I should try that.
I had a question. Did you get to meet Colbert? I hear that there's some weird process to...
So like, there's a hologram.
Is Stephen Colbert still alive?
We
Or is
don't
it just...
know is the
Oh.
thing. So I went to shake his hand, and then it went right through like Tupac at Coachella. But Jon Stewart was there, so.
Yeah, that guy doesn't do much anymore. Hey, nothing that I know of. Samantha, I have a question. Has a comedian you respect given you a really meaningful compliment or vouched for you in the way that Chris Gethard vouches for everything I say, do, or tweet?
One time a drunk headliner from Buffalo told me to wear more makeup, and I really took that to heart, you know? It's really informed my comedy to this day.
And Chris said he was going to apologize for that tonight, actually.
Okay.
He was,
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. I forgive you. I know you've been sober for a minute, so.
Crazy times. Okay, that's enough of my questions. We're getting to the point. We're going to take some calls, but first, I want a question from the disciples. You all are eager to learn, so I want to know who raised their hand first. Oh, Pat did, but...
One time we were on a show together, and after the show...
Oh, no.
Yeah, after the show, I was on the show, but you didn't see me do my set, so we talked for a while, and I kept complimenting you, and you never complimented me. So I'm just wondering... Do you want to?
Yeah, no. Oh, you're stupid.
Yeah.
I did see your set.
Oh.
Yeah, I was there. I was just in the bathroom because I had a stomach ache, but I heard it.
Oh, cool.
But I didn't know what you looked like because I'd only heard
I
it.
look like this.
You look like, oh. so crazy. Well, I thought your set was great. Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah, the old stomach ache in the bathroom. I know that one. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take some calls. We're going to take some calls. First up, we have Teek from Raleigh. Raleigh? Teek, you're on the line.
I guess it's Raleigh. Hello.
I think it's
All
Raleigh
right.
from Teek.
Teek from Raleigh from Teek.
Pick one.
Do you have a punchline to one of those two setups from up top? Or do you have a question for me or Sam about comedy writing or being on TV, or both? Whatever you got.
I think I have a punchline.
Ooh.
Ooh, indeed.
So, I thought you'd say it then, like, but that maybe you'd like go. So just say which setup you chose and then say the punchline to it. Go ahead.
Oh, well,
Lay it on us, Teek.
yeah. I like my chicken, or wait. Oh, I didn't do that right.
It worked.
Killing already. Teek, that's unbelievable. We cannot hear your punchline because it might not get as big of a response. But
Well-
here's the thing, you roll with that. Okay, we're up next. We're with we've completely moved on from Teek. We got Milo from Maryland. Milo, do you got a punchline and or a question for us?
I do have a punchline.
Lay it on us. Say the full joke.
Okay. I like my literal own ass like how I like my chicken. covered in cum and sloppily eaten by my many enemies.
I'll tell you what, Milo, I love it. Sometimes you gotta listen to your heart, and more importantly, to Martin Urbano on what makes a good joke. Never the audience. Okay.
Has this guy already taken your class?
Oh wait, Milo. I know. Yeah, you were in class last week. Yeah, you said, "Is this joke funny?" And I said, "I love it." Same. I love it even more now. Last up, we have to quickly get to Sedona from Phoenix. Sedona, do you have a quick? Is that a place?
Yeah.
Sedona. All right, we have the entire city of Sedona, Phoenix here. Quickly, give us a question and a punchline and a question. We gotta hurry it up. Let's move along.
Okay, I'll do punchline first. Okay, so I like my women like I like my chicken, pumped full of antibiotics.
Good stuff. All right, Sedona. And now ask a question, please. We got like 30 seconds left for a question. Sam's here. We got all the knowledge in the world.
What are you wearing?
Wow, some real creeps out in Arizona.
You got to learn.
It's hot out here.
It's not a good time for sexual harassers in comedy. Entire city of Sedona, Phoenix. Okay, Sam Roddy, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Check out our Colbert set. Check out our Colbert set. It's unbelievable. Okay, back to here. Wow, we're already learning some. Oh, Riley. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Riley Solomon. And on August 14th, right here on Chris Gethard Presents, I'll be presenting to you Clon. Clon. C-L-O-N. What is Clon? Clon is a dream. Clon is the future. Wednesday, August 14th. Clon. 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 It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I hope you check it out. But before that, on August 7th, Joe Rumrill and Rachel Pegram will help you find love. And on July 31st, Robbie Hoffman names herself the successor to the Chris Gethard Show and returns as the new host. And next week on CGP, phone calls collide as Josh Sharp. You know what? I'll let him explain.
Hey, Geth, I just got your email saying I'm only hosting one episode of the show. Sorry, I thought I was hosting 3. And I actually had 3 different call-in shows I wanted to host. They sort of each have like their own distinct theme and co-host and sets. So I guess I'll just do them all at the same time, if that's cool. And it should be easy and seamless and definitely not completely chaotic. So I'll see you then. Oh, and check this out. 2 old guys sitting on a porch. It says, "Were we gay?" Funny.
That's right, Pepper Bell. Riley, check them out. Social media has become I'm not good at transitions. Social media has become an important tool for comedians recently. Not only can social media help you reach an audience that you might not have been able to find through traditional means, but you can also use it to DM high school girls. So here to talk more about social media and comedy, I've invited my very funny peer who has 3 times as many Twitter followers as me, Julia Claire. Welcome, Julia Claire, everybody. Julia, thank you so much for being here. You're the absolute best. So, you know, I respect you. I respect your joke writing. You've got your own audience on Twitter, I'd say, right? Your tweets do very well for themselves, something that I'm about 1/3 as good at as you. So I just kind of want to go through some tweets, kind of establish our different tweeting styles so that when I ask my questions, people kind of know. So I want to start off with your pinned tweet is a really good one. So if you could just kind of read it, and it'll be up here. So here we go.
Okay. I'm religious, but not spiritual. I just love rules and being afraid of sex.
I love it. That's great. Yes, wonderful. That is clearly, look at all those likes and retweets. People really respond to that. So let me just give you a little taste of the kind of jokes I do. I like to comment on news stories. So it'll be a news story like Anthony Weiner turns up in Manhattan courthouse to register as sex offender, and I'll comment something along the lines of, "My man."
Oh man, how can any of us compete? Incredible.
Look at those, not nearly as many likes on that one.
It's not a just world.
Thank you, Julia.
It deserves everything.
Well, all my questions were asking, is it a just world? That's perfect. First question up, I'm wondering, how important is social media to having a career in comedy? I think it's important, which is why I started that Pornhub account. So, but you tell me, how important is social media to a career in comedy?
I've never made any money from it. So it's not. That's it.
That's it. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's go through a couple more tweets. You know, you really relate to people. You talk about topical things with really funny, awesome jokes. Very well-written jokes. I'm going to have you read this one real quick.
Have the investigators on Big Little Lies considered looking under everyone's bangs? Look, I think we can all agree that having bangs is a sign of mental instability. And I would absolutely know. That's all there is to say about that.
It's a great joke. A lot of people relate to it. I don't know what bangs are. It's a great joke. Look at all these likes and retweets. It's incredible. So let me just give you a little bit more of a taste of the kind of things that I bring when I'm trying to do a topical joke. So let's say a news story comes out that says something like, R. Kelly claims parents sold their daughters to him. I say, I knew he was innocent, with heart eyes emojis. Definitely did better on Twitter than you all gave it credit for. This is one that really popped up. So I'm just wondering. Yeah. Normally my fans don't like my Twitter. I lose followers absolutely constantly.
Sure.
But what's your mentality on relating to your followers? Do you think about their responses, or do you completely trust yourself?
I don't think about their responses, and that's why so many of my tweets are bad.
They're great. You're killing it.
Yeah, no, I don't think about it at all. I also don't trust myself, though, so I think as a woman you really can't have it all.
Well, speaking of not listening to people who tweet, that's my entire thesis. But specifically here, you have a new podcast called Reply Guys.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what a reply guy is? Is he some sort of really funny, cool guy?
A reply guy is a man online who replies to women's tweets, no matter what the content is. And every woman on Twitter is rationed at least one. It is.
How many do you have on a typical?
I couldn't count. They are very much our HPV. We've all got it.
Are they fun to talk to, or should I stop?
I think most of my reply guys are either like adjunct professors or like sword guys. So it's a real mixed bag. We have fun on Twitter.com.
Well, they sound cool as hell. But when someone trolls you, isn't it basically like they're giving you a compliment?
That's what they keep telling me. No, I'll let you know when I get doxxed.
I don't know. We don't even have time to get into doxing, folks. We should probably take some questions. Do you ever get in trouble for the things you tweet?
Yes.
Yeah?
I got in trouble recently because I made fun of polyamorous people. It's the only tweet I've ever gotten a really big negative reaction for. I can't believe I got such an overreaction from people who turn sex into a stressful group project. It's the world we live in, folks. It's
That's right.
unjust.
Well, the tweet hurt my feelings.
Okay. We're going to take a question now from the disciples. Disciples, you got a question? Let's roll into it. I believe Jared raised his hand first, right?
Where's the best place to tweet from?
Ooh, where's the best place to tweet from? That's a great question. Julia, I'm going to let you take this one first.
An airport.
Is that what you do?
Everyone's at their most upset. Yeah.
I usually tweet in the bathroom, of course, that's obvious from the type of content I do. But what I'm doing in there is crystal meth, so it's different. Okay, we're going to take a couple callers, 1 or 2 callers. First up, we have Colin. Colin from Ohio. Whoa!
I have a punchline.
Okay, yeah, lay the punchline on us, and then ask a question. We got Julia Claire here with thrice as many Twitter followers as me. So do your punchline first.
Okay, I like my women like I like my olive oil. In a relationship with Popeye.
Pretty good. Pretty good. What do you think of that, Julia? Would you tweet it?
I would not. It's a little clunky.
I tweet it, but only so I can keep talking to all these reply guys here. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. A little clunky maybe, but that's Colin from Ohio. That was awesome. Do you have a question? Or are we on Ryan from Wyoming now? Is that right? Or is it still Colin?
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay, perfect.
My question is, do you think it's worth it to buy bot followers?
No. Why would you want to make Twitter more involved? It's already the worst place on earth. And I say that as someone who spends all of my time there.
I spent all of my money to buy bot. What the hell, Colin?
Whoa. Honestly.
But tell me if I'm spending too much. 1,000 per 1 follower. Is that too much? Okay, Colin from Ohio. Thank you for calling. Ryan from Wyoming. We only got time for your punchline, so me and Julia can critique it. Let's lay it on me.
All right. I like my women like I like my olive oil. Way outside what I can comfortably afford.
Ryan, are you buying women?
I just want them to ruin my life.
Okay. Honestly, a very strong narrative there.
Yeah, I feel like let's write a little short story called Ryan from Wyoming.
It's very much the baby shoes never worn of our generation.
Which is a tweetable story. Julia Claire, everybody. Thank you for talking about social media with us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, all right, okay. We're going to keep moving along as soon as the teleprompter's there. The past few years have seen a revolution of diversity in comedy. So here to talk about it, I've invited some of the people most affected by diversity in comedy. Please help me welcome a panel of straight white guys. We got Chris Calogero, Chris Donahue, and Ari Findling here with us. 3 of my faves, 3 of my friends. But enough bullshit. Let's talk about the real issues, guys. Thanks for being here. Let's just, cut to the chase. Why is diversity important in comedy? Why is diversity important in comedy? Like, for me, I think diversity for the sake of diversity is a bad thing. In fact, I think diversity is a bad thing. Thoughts?
Well, as an unfamous white comedian in Brooklyn, I feel pretty qualified to talk about this. I think diversity is very important, and I think it's important that people know that I think it's important.
Okay, all right. Chris?
I feel like without diversity in comedy, we wouldn't have such classic films as Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. You got your diverse cast, your white male, your black male, your fat male, and then David Spade.
Yeah, okay, I like that. All right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we should be making diversity for diversity's sake. We should be protecting certain roles, certain shows, things like Frasier. You know, there's not much that you could change about Frasier to make it diverse. It wouldn't work.
What about a Latino Frasier? What do you think about that?
I mean, it's
thanks.
No, I mean, it's a bad idea. I mean, there's no way. You know that wouldn't work.
Wait, just Frasier's Latino, and then the rest of the cast is still white?
I've never seen the show. It's super white. It's a very white show.
I think the theme song would be great.
Give us a little taste of it.
Give me some of the tossed salad and scrambled huevos, right?
What does that mean?
That's the theme song,
That's fun. That's fun. That's a fun little joke because I don't speak Spanish. Okay, so we got your opinions on diversity down. Ari's clearly the bad boy of the panel. Let's see how long that goes for. Because I got another question for you guys. Are women funny, and why not?
And be specific.
Yeah. If anybody, hop in at any point.
I mean, I don't know that I can necessarily articulate why this is a bad question. And I need women to know that I'm an ally, so I'm going to recuse myself from answering.
Ooh, I'm Chris. I care about my career. All right, who else wants to do this?
Off the top of my dome, I can think of one hilarious woman, Drew Barrymore, Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, Blended, all of the classics.
I feel like I'm starting to see a pattern here. But I'll tell you what. I dare you. You know, okay, it's easy to name one funny one. I dare you. Name 58 more funny women. You can't. You can't.
I mean, I agree. I mean, most of my favorite comics are not women, and that's not that they're not funny. It's just that most of the men are just like in a different kind of like a stratosphere above.
Like all of the legends of comedy.
Yeah, like I love Nick DiPaolo, and that's kind of like, it's tough to kind of compete with that level of creativity and stuff. So,
have you seen his new special?
I mean,
once.
I mean, I've seen it. I was watching it before we started.
Too edgy for anyone to watch it.
It's only available on YouTube, which is
okay. We still got some.
Amazing.
Is it YouTube? I thought it was on his website. I was just on his website and I saw it. Okay, what should we do, guys? I'm curious. What should we do when a female comedian complains about how biased the comedy industry can be towards women? Hit her? Don't know.
You're leading us into answers.
Yeah, I'll actually disagree here. I don't think we should hit women. I don't think that. But there are plenty of things that women are passed over for. But there's plenty of things that we're passed over for as well. Like I auditioned for the new Medea movie and didn't get it. And there's certain things that we should, be allowed to be in.
Yeah, I think as like white male comedians, we're now in a position to really relate to how women are treated because we're getting a lot of doors closed in our face as well.
Yeah, it's been a tough 18 months.
16, 18 months, yeah.
Speaking of white men complaining, Monty Python star John Cleese was recently crucified like Christ himself. After tweeting, "In December, I visited Netflix to pitch the idea of a special. They must have hated the idea because they never got back to me or returned any of my agent's phone calls or emails. Recently, someone showed me one of the specials they did commission. It was very original. A hugely likable and jolly young woman did a highly original routine based on the fact that she was so fat that she couldn't find her own pussy. My only disappointment was that when I approached Netflix in December, I had not known the sort of material they were looking for." So my question is, what's your favorite Monty Python sketch?
I like the one, Yeah, the one with the coconuts with the horse.
Yeah. From the movie?
Yeah.
That one? Yeah.
I talked about this all throughout high school, so I was ready for this. Lumberjacks.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't watch that shit. Actually, I did recently watch just for research. Just a lot of jokes about their fat pussies. I just wonder what that was about. Maybe he just thought they were stealing. Okay, we're gonna turn it over to some questions. Question from a disciple. Anybody got one? Vinay's up. Okay.
What's it like being heroes?
Great question.
Thank you.
Great question.
Thank you for saying it.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of live your life kind of with like an S on your chest, but you just have to try.
Oh, I'd love to take an S on your chest, huh? It was on this card.
Oh, yeah. Weird. I didn't see that.
It is on there.
Oh, yeah. Well, if it's on there, it's on there.
Okay, let's get some questions from the callers real quick. We're running a little shorter on time. So we got Spencer from Illinois. Spencer, give us a little punchline and then ask a question for our straight white male panel. Straight white panel. Spencer from Illinois.
I like my women like I like my chicken, freshly boned.
Freshly boned?
Freshly boned. Did he come after he said that?
Everybody
I'm
sounds like
gonna
they just woke up.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's feminist.
He likes watching.
Yeah, maybe like a cuck thing. All right, Spencer, you got a question for us, a straight white panel, and me, Latino comedian Martin Urbano? Spencer! Okay, Teek from Raleigh again. Why not?
He took a shot.
Why not, Teek? Ask a question to the straight white panel, quickly.
Can I give my punchline first? Can I get
Oh, he biffed it.
Yeah, I forgot. Do it again.
Cut
Why
him
not?
off again.
Yeah, sure. I like my women, like I like my chicken, given to me by people who are trying to make a living.
There's a lot of time on that.
Yeah. Clearly, you punched it up since when you called in first.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, that was what's known in the comedy biz as a thinker. The audience, you can kind of see it like kind of roll in, but they start laughing.
I still don't get it.
Don't listen to Joey. There's always going to be haters, Teek. Okay, Teek, do you have a question for us, a straight white panel? We got to end on a really strong question. Can you please lay one on us?
What kind of lotion do you guys use?
Kind of lotion? These are a bunch of straight white males, Teek. They do not masturbate.
Wow.
All right, we got to get out of here on that. So I just want to ask you guys one last good question. Let's get one in. What's your plan for comedy now that bye, Teek. Sorry. This is my first time doing it. We just got to ask, what's your plan for comedy now that white men aren't allowed to be successful anymore? Let's keep it brief.
I'm just going to keep going to open mics and getting more bitter and bitter and bitter until it boils over, I think, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I just tried to find the most popular minority comedian and grab onto their coattails for dear life. Thanks for having me, Martin.
Anytime, bud. All right.
I'm going to be selling CDs of my album outside if anybody wants to buy them, so I just need some room.
You also have bootleg Nick DiPaolo albums, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you.
Till next time. Straight white panel, everybody. All right, we're going to transition here with a little, first up, a pop quiz. Folks, disciples, I totally spaced on the pop quiz. For the social media question, I want you guys to answer. We're going to do it real quick. It was, finish this phrase, Dane Cook was to MySpace as blank is to blank. So anybody got a good one? CW, but you wrote Sinbad on your...
Dane Cook is to MySpace as MySpace is to pedophiles.
That's Dane Cook is to MySpace as MySpace is to pedophiles. I didn't know that. I got to check out that website now. Thanks for the heads up. We got one more. Who hasn't talked yet? Who has one? Pat?
Dane Cook is to MySpace as eggs are to farts. Pungent.
I loved it, Pat. I loved it. Yes. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. So we're going to keep it going. We got the next comedy lesson here. We're going to talk about tragedy, time, comedy, all that stuff. The phrase is tragedy plus time equals comedy. I believe it was the late, great Woody Allen who said that. And it still remains true to this day. But what people don't know is that there are a lot of other formulas you can use to help create comedy and navigate the prickly subject of horrible tragedies. Now, class, if you remember the examples I showed you last time, we got some formulas right here for you. So, for example, tragedy plus time equals comedy. That's like an assassination plus Abraham Lincoln equals Carrot Top wearing a top head with a rearview mirror on it. That's pretty good.
Another thinker.
Yeah. Comedy minus time equals tragedy. It's like David Bowie dies at 69 years old. Minus 69 years, you're just left with David Bowie's debt. That's not funny. And then, of course, tragedy plus tragedy equals two tragedies, like one broke girl plus one broke girl equals two broke girls, and there's nothing funny about that. So I'm just wondering, any disciples who haven't talked yet? We're in crunch time, so let's go with Charlie. No, let's go with Lucian. Lucian, do you have any examples you'd like to come up here? Just write down, tragedy plus time equals whatever your formula is, and then just say it out loud what the actual answer is. So I should give you a marker so you could do it, huh? Here you go. Here you go. All right, we're going to see what Lucian has. There's countless formulas that we can do. So it's going to be very interesting.
Sorry, what is the original tragedy?
You can just say it. You don't have to write it on the board.
Tragedy plus time equals comedy. Better pizza plus better ingredients equals Papa John's.
Yes. Shout out to Lucian. Lucian, give respect to Joe.
Authentico.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we got one more. Charlie hasn't spoken yet. Charlie, we need you up here. I don't know why. You don't have to write it on the board. Let's keep doing it. Let's just say it out loud. It worked great last time.
All right, so I got comedy plus me equals tragedy. Obviously.
Clearly you didn't do your homework. Because, my man, you are a comedy. Charlie, everybody. Charlie, good. Half credit on that. Okay, we're zooming by, we're swinging by. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next guest lecturer. Lecturers. What's braver, being a comedian or being a soldier at war? The world may never know. But many of my peers agree being a comedian is about finding where the line is and then masturbating all over it. Offensive comedy is important to the country, to the world, and to the children of the future. Children. But offensive comedy is under attack by the PC police, and I'm conflicted. I've grown and I've changed against my will, but I still have a lot of questions. So to help me unpack this topic, I've invited two very important people in my life, comedians I respect immensely and who know me intimately. Please help me welcome my lover, Kelsey Kane, and my mentor and lover, Chris Gethard. Hey guys, thanks for being here. I want to talk offensive comedy with y'all. So let's go ahead. We're gonna take some calls later, but I have a few questions for you. I'm really confused this day and age. When people get angry at a joke. So my question is for both of you, where's the line? Is it over here or is it over there? Take it.
I did just find out about the line tonight, and I am offended. That is how I feel.
Where did I cross the line? In my intro? It might have been.
Probably, I would say around the 7th or 8th pedophile joke. Were those not jokes?
Yeah, I'm very confused. Jokes? What the fuck? I was just listing my credits over and over again.
He does very well-structured truth.
Kelsey, this question is actually for you. Speaking on behalf of all women, I'm wondering, what's your problem?
My number one biggest problem is boys aren't cute enough, it's too cold in here, and no one likes when I talk.
Classic woman, rule of 3. Chris, this one's for you. In a post-Me Too society, what's your favorite color?
Post-Me Too society, what's my favorite color?
Things have changed. Chris.
It's still yellow.
Wow.
Still?
Interesting.
It was yellow before and it's yellow
Hey,
now.
don't insult a man's color choice, Kels. Jesus.
You don't have to yell at a lady. How can you? You're asking a question about Me Too and it ends with you.
I thought we were all equal. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you, Chris. I didn't mean to yell at you. I didn't mean that.
No, you don't have to apologize for mansplaining me after unabashedly mansplaining her.
Kels, what do you think?
I still think yellow is an offensive color.
Okay, well,
I stand by
I'm sorry about my card choice then. Women. Okay. Thanks, Joey.
How did those pants not rip?
I'm so happy they didn't.
Well, all right. Thanks for that. Okay. I got a few more questions. I know this is a hard topic for everybody to talk about. Offensive comedy. What is offensive comedy? What is it? Kelsey, you performed a controversial character named Penis CK. And I'd just like to ask you, what's your problem? Can you explain a little bit about Penis CK for the people at home, maybe?
I can. I performed as a character called Penis CK, who is based off no sex offender / very famous comedian in particular. And I would wear a costume, which is this costume. Again, no one in particular. I'd do a few jokes, and then, of course, the funniest thing you could do of all, I would ask the audience if I could jerk off in front of them, and then I did it. Some people loved it. Other people loved it even more. It was not controversial at all, and it made my career only better.
Well, I gotta say, one, I'm super offended. But first, but also, I just wanted to know, you know, I know you're tongue-in-cheek, you're joking around a little bit, that there was definitely some hate, definitely some people were mean to you. But Kelsey, have you considered that maybe the reason you got so much hate by people who hadn't seen the bit is because it wasn't funny enough? Especially because never in my life have I seen a bad comedy bit before. You know why? Because if I had, I would have cyberbullied them.
I do think that some people really hated it because they really love some sex offenders.
Name one.
The funnier the sex offender, the more people love them, is what I learned. But also, some people, you know, and those people suck. Those, you know, whatever, fuck them. That's why I did the bit.
Whoa!
I love to trigger a sex offender. What can I say? It's funny. The only thing I feel bad about doing the bit about was it also triggered sexual assault survivors, some of them. And I'm a sexual assault survivor. That's why I did the bit. And so it's sad that they weren't just like, she's cool and my friends. So that was a bummer, but other than that, no regrets. Don't jerk off in front of people. Seems like a no-brainer.
I do love that you really connected two very different groups of people to hate on one thing in specific. But Chris, this one's for you. There's been a growing divide in what is considered free speech and what is considered hate speech. So I just have to ask you, have you seen any good movies lately?
I guess I'm just left wondering why I was involved in this, because I'm not really an offensive. Most of my jokes now are about like growing up in New Jersey and being a new dad. Like I'm not a very, I don't have.
I'm offended.
Yeah.
New Jersey?
With the PC police, you're gonna offend somebody. I tell you, maybe you're gonna offend Chris Christie. I don't know. Is that New Jersey?
It is New Jersey. I guess to answer you, I just saw Spider-Man Far From Home. That was very good, although I found the stakes pretty low after the Avengers Endgame.
Very well said, Chris. Okay, we're going to take a question from the disciple before getting into, you know what? Sorry, disciples. We only got time for one last caller, and it's got to be June from Mississippi. We got time for June from Mississippi. Please tell us a punchline and ask your question. June from Mississippi. About offensive
I like
comedy.
my women like I like my chicken. Tenderized and covered in breadcrumbs.
Very literal. Chris is giving a wag of the dildo. That means he approves.
One dildo, one thumb up. The way I like it.
Now, June, very quickly.
One dildo, one thumb up, the way I like it. That deserves more.
It got what it deserved. 70% of a regular. Okay. Thank you so much to Kelsey Kane and Chris Gethard for being here, teaching us a little bit about offensive comedy. Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly, folks. Well, folks, before we get out of here. Okay. Class. Had to post. Well, okay. Well, but before we get out of here, I don't want everybody to just kind of like, I didn't realize that the bell was coming so soon. So I just kind of wanted to assign some homework and then just talk about what the right answer was to the question. Maybe you can just talk about. I thought it was. I just wanted to say just a little thing for everybody here. The correct answer was, I like my women like I like my chicken, trapped in a dark coop all their lives with breasts so large they can't move. So I just wanted to. Thanks, everybody.